Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing a hose reel. This is from Vevor. They sent me the air compressor to review, and of course it don't come with the hose. And I like a hose reel. They're real handy. After I had one of my old compressor, I really liked it, so they was kind enough to send this. So I want to put this thing on the wall, hook it up to the compressor, and see how it works. But it's real nice to have a hose reel instead of having a hose laying everywhere all over your shop floor. And this should be a real good one. Comes with a little manual here. Retractable air hose reel. Operator's manual. So it tells you how to mount it, what it comes with. It comes with a wall mount. You can mount it directly, or you can mount it with this swivel mount, so it can kind of swivel on the wall, which actually would be pretty nice. The other one that I had did not swivel, and sometimes I could see where it would definitely be handy to have the swivel on the wall also. So we're going to take this thing out of the box and check it out. What this one is, it's a 50-foot hose. It says it's a hybrid hose. Maximum PSI is 300 PSI. This is a 3/8 hose. The inner fitting for this thing is a 1/4 inch NPT. So pretty much standard as far as the fittings that goes on the hose. So let's take this thing out of the box and look at it. Okay, so after we take it out of the box, we have the hose reel. We have a connection hose to connect this to your compressor. If this is not longer, you could actually just get a longer hose and add to it. Then it comes with some anchor bolts. And these anchor bolts are actually for mounting it to something like concrete or brick. You have to drill the holes and use these anchors, but we're mounting it to a 2x4 stud on a wall. And then we have a couple bolts here that hold it onto the swivel. This is the swivel bracket that it comes with right here, and then this bracket will go onto here and pivot. We bolt it to the wall. Okay, so we have the hose right here. Has a thing right here on the end to keep it actually from kinking. And then this is the stop for the hose. Don't want it to reel up all the way, and actually has a nice soft stop to catch it if you let it slam back. And then your hose connection is right here. This is where this part will go. And this part here will go to your compressor. And then this side, of course, it will mount just like this on the wall. So it says right out here, 1/4 inch is what this is. 300 PSI. Let's take this thing and mount it on the wall. Okay, so as far as mounting this on the wall, you just actually need some lag bolts. Now, the lag bolts is going to depend on your wall and what you're mounting it to. I'm actually drilled through the sheetrock here and going to mount it onto one of the 2x4 studs. And the way this is made, it's slotted. So when you mount it, you can put your bolts in, set it on the slots and slide down, then tighten them up. And these here happen to be just 10mm heads, so I'm going to put the top one in. I can set it down on there, line my bottom one up, and then put the reel up on there. I've already went ahead and found out where the stud is in this wall to put it, so I can go ahead and put this in. Now, if you was using it on a concrete wall or brick wall, then you'd want to use those anchors that's provided. So we just want it like that. We'll set this on here, and then we kind of get it straight, hopefully here. Then I'm going to mark the spot where I want my other one. About right there. I'm measuring from a window over here. Every place that you put them is going to be different, but this is just kind of what I'm doing to get them where it's going to be straight. So I got 42 1/4. I want the same right here. 42 1/4. And my bottom one is going to go right here. Okay. So now we can go ahead and get these started. I don't actually have two of these lag bolts that are the same. One is a 5/16 head and one is a 3/8 head, but it will still serve the purpose. Like so. Okay, because of the size of the head on this, I decided to go ahead and put a couple flat washers. Now these bolts, or these lag bolts, are not provided. The only bolts that they provided was ones that go into the concrete. But it's pretty easy to go to your hardware store and pick up About some 2.5-inch lag bolts work pretty good into a 2x4 stud like this. It just will hold a lot better if you have these flat washers on here, like so. So now we can actually take that, mount the hose reel up here. Okay, so what we have with it is, looks like some shoulder spacers here, and then we have 2 bolts, and looks like they are 13mm on both sides, and that's what's going to hold this up. Be kind of hard for me to hold it and show you, but we'll get this thing stuck up here. And this is probably where you're probably holding this up on the wall, depending on how high. You might want to recruit some help of a friend to help you hold this up and put the bolts in it at the same time. So luckily I happen to have a friend here today to help me with it. It looks like this is going to go, you can probably turn it to the side and makes it better. You're going to hold that. And the shoulder washers are going to go into the orange part of the metal. Raise up on it. Okay, now the bottom one. Okay, now all we gotta do is take and tighten it up with 1/2 inch or 13mm wrench and socket. Okay, so these bolts, the bolt is actually a 12mm head bolt, and then the nut is a 13. So we will take and get it lined up here so this collar goes through the hole. The collar is going to go through the hole of the orange, metal, and the black. And once you get it lined up, you really can't go nowhere. Same way with the top, which I already have it lined up. And you can't tighten them tight enough that it don't bind up, in other words. So you have to tighten it up. So once you tighten it up, it's good enough. Okay, that's very nice. As you can see, you can pivot it all the way pretty much flat on the wall to keep it out of your way when you're not using it. Very cool. Now the one that I had before, it was actually just mounted straight out. It didn't have this swivel. This swivel is actually really nice. But you do need to remember when you are pivoting, you got to have enough hose to pivot it wherever your hose is at. But I really like that, so pretty cool. Let's take and hook a hose on here and run it down to our compressor. Okay, so we can put the hose on right here. I'm going to put this end up here that has the protection, so if I fold it against the wall, it won't keep the hose right there. Add a little Teflon tape onto it and thread it in here, and then just take a 14mm wrench and tighten it up. I guess you could put either end on there. I just thought maybe with this protection against kinking might be better if I put it against the wall. I fold it that way, keep from kinking the hose like that. Then we'll take this end here, hook onto the compressor. Now I went ahead on this end, it had Teflon tape already on it, and I put on this female to male end right here, so I can just plug it into the chuck on the compressor. Okay, so this end here, I went ahead and put this male chuck right here, and I can actually just plug it in right here if I want it on the regulated. If not, I would need to take this and get a female-female adapter, and I can put it on this side right here on the unregulated side. So for now, we can actually just plug it in right here. Now, this part right here, this regulated one, does not have a shutoff like this one over here. So you're always going to have pressure on your hose all the time. But we'll plug it into this one is what we'll do. Put a coupler on this one, a quick coupler, and then we can actually, I'll take this off later and put some Teflon tape on it, but just for demonstration purposes, we'll put it on here. We would normally have Teflon tape. Now we can plug in any of our air tools, reel it out and use it. So we can plug in an air ratchet like that and reel the hose out and use it. Okay, so now that we have this on here, we can plug this on to our compressor, like so. And now we can just plug in our air tool, reel it out, and it should have stops. Every time you have these clicks, like that. And if you let off when it's in the clicks, it'll stop. And between the clicks, that's when you'll reel back up. There you go, reels all the way back up. So we pull it all the way out as far as we want. Like over here to this Harley front wheel. Reel out as much as we want. When it's clicking, that's when you let off and you can actually get it hold itself in place. And then we can put our air tool on right here. And we can steal the wheel off this Harley if we want it, put it on the shadow. So pretty cool, let's reel this thing out all the way. And you never want to reel these out all the way max, probably not a good idea. So I'd stop a couple clicks before you get to the end. Like right there, instead of reeling it out all the way. And then just to reel it back, let off of it, pulls itself back in. But one cool thing I like about this one, as I said, that mine didn't have at the house, is now that you're using it, wherever you're using it in your shop, if you walk over this way, it just pivots from side to side. Super cool, and when you're done, you can just hold it back against the wall. Pull it back out. It actually has a mark right here that tells you to stop when you get this far. As I was saying, you never want to pull them all the way out to the end, and that's what this is for, just to remind you not to go no further than that. Reel it back in, and never let go of the hose and just let it go back in. You actually need to kind of, like I didn't do, you need to guide it from left to right as you go in. Just let it, and don't ever let go of it and let it free-wheel in. Like so. Let it stop, put it against the wall, and you're good to go. We could actually put this one back this way against the wall, but very cool. Okay guys, so that is the VEVOR 50-foot hose reel of 3/8 hose. Very cool. As I said, I like the pivot. I like to be able to do that. I can fold it against the wall like this out of the way instead of being sticking straight out. Or if it doesn't bother, if you got plenty of room, it doesn't matter. But the nice part is too, when you're working in your shop, no matter which way you walk back and forth with your hose, it just pivots back and forth. Very cool, mounts solid on the wall. And also if you pair it with the VEVOR air compressor like I got, so it's a pretty good combination. I actually have this compressor sitting up right now. I actually need to get a longer hose because I wanted this high up out of the way. You can mount it lower, but I wanted this high up out of the way, and then I could actually put other things under it. So I want to get a longer hose in the future and set this thing down on the floor, but for now, for demonstration purposes, I've done this. But very cool, big thumbs up. I will post a link to this hose reel in the description. I will also post a link, this was on my last video, of the VEVOR 6.3 gallon air compressor. I will post a link to this in the description also. Thank you guys for watching. Click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Catch you on the next one. Right on.